Merci tout le monde. Thank you, first of all, Jason, for that kind introduction, and also for the work you've been doing. I know Jason has been a very passionate advocate of the initiative. Thank you as well to our Master of Ceremonies today, your host, our host, because he's the Member of Parliament for this area, the Honourable Julian Fantino, who's been a great addition. I also want to thank all of my colleagues from both houses of Parliament who have come to be here with us today for this very important announcement. Special greetings to a Member of Parliament, Dev Shipley, who moved the motion in the House of Commons to get a vote to establish the office. Thank you as well to our hosts here today, National General Secretary Dr. Aslan Daud, and National President Lal Khan Malik of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to start today by expressing my gratitude, to join with Jason in expressing my gratitude to the Ahmadiyya Muslim community here in Vaughan. I'm grateful for your generous hospitality, but even more, I'm grateful for the outstanding example that you set. Cette communauté, la communauté musulmane ahmadiyya, connaît la cruauté terrible de la persécution fondée sur la religion. Malgré cela, vous continuez de croire en la tolérance et l'harmonie. En ce sens, votre contribution aux valeurs canadiennes est inspirante. This community has experienced, as Jason mentioned, terrible cruelty and persecution on the basis of religion. In spite of that, your belief in tolerance and harmony endures. In this, you make an inspiring contribution to our values. You strengthen Canada's commitment to diversity and pluralism, and you remind your fellow Canadians that the freedoms we enjoy are precious and must never be taken for granted. So as your Prime Minister, I thank you on behalf of all Canadians for strengthening. Chers amis, dans plusieurs régions du monde, des violations de la liberté religieuse sont répandues et de plus en plus courantes. Around the world, violations of religious freedom are widespread, and they are increasing. In Iran, Baha'is and Christians face harassment, imprisonment, and in some cases death. In Pakistan, Ahmadiyya Muslims, Shia Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, and Hindus are vulnerable to persecution and violence. In China, Christians who worship outside government-approved boundaries are driven underground, and their leaders are arrested and detained. While Uyghur Muslims, Tibetan Buddhists, and Falun Gong practitioners are subject to oppression and intimidation. Elsewhere, we watch in horror. The sanctuaries are destroyed, and believers are attacked, and in some cases slaughtered. Shia Muslim pilgrims in Iraq, Coptic Christians in Egypt, Christians that worship in Nigeria. The list appallingly goes on and on. In the face of these injustices and atrocities, Canada will not be silent. Sous notre gouvernement, le Canada s'est prononcé de façon constante et catégorique, sans crainte et sans attendre de faveur, pour la défense des droits de la personne partout dans le monde, et particulièrement pour la défense de la liberté religieuse. Under our government, Canada has spoken out consistently and emphatically, without fear or favor. Canada defends human rights around the world. And we have not only spoken out, we have also taken action. Nous avons rallié le soutien de plusieurs leaders mondiaux envers la cause de la liberté religieuse, notamment au G8, Commonwealth, et à la francophonie. And we have rallied support for religious freedom, for example, among the leaders of the G8, of the Commonwealth, and at the Francophonie. And we are also providing safe haven in Canada for some 20,000 Iraqi refugees, many of whom are Chaldean Catholics driven from their ancient homeland under the threat of death. Mais nous devons en faire davantage, car les infractions commises à l'égard de ce droit fondamental sont graves et nombreuses. But we are compelled to do more by the sheer number and gravity of the offenses against this fundamental right around the world, and the assault it implies on democracy itself. The cause is just, the need is urgent, and our responsibility is clear. As Canadians, as citizens of a free country, we have a solemn duty. As Sir Wilfrid Laurier once said, and I quote, you should always remember this, Le Canada est libre et la liberté c'est sa nationalité. Canada is free and freedom is its nationality. Ladies and gentlemen, the freedom to worship according to one's own conscience is at the root of our personalities and therefore at the root of all of our liberties. That is why I'm deeply honored to be here today in a place where those once persecuted can now freely worship in this country whose hallmark is tolerance and diversity and respect for human dignity. J'ai le grand honneur, mesdames et messieurs, d'annoncer l'établissement officiel du Bureau de la liberté religieuse du Canada et de son premier ambassadeur. I am deeply honored, ladies and gentlemen, to announce the official establishment of Canada's Office of Religious Freedom. To be able to announce Canada's first ambassador of religious freedom. He is a scholar, a man of principle and deep convictions. Please welcome everybody, Dr. Andrew Bennett. Department of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Bennett will monitor religious freedom around the world. He will promote it as a key objective of Canadian foreign policy. And Dr. Bennett will help ensure that the protection of religious freedom informs the policies and programs of the Government of Canada. Dr. Bennett, you have my best wishes and full support as you set forth on this most important mission. This audience requires no convincing on the need for action in defense of religious freedom. But there are some who, while generally supportive, would not have thought to make it a priority. And there are a few who may believe this is of interest to only a limited number of Canadians and the communities most affected. Let me address this directly. Notre gouvernement reconnaît les liens cruciaux et historiques entre le respect du pluralisme religieux et le développement même de la démocratie. C'est pourquoi nous allons continuer à nous faire un champion de la liberté de conscience et de religion dans le monde entier. There is a crucial and historical link between respect for religious pluralism and the development of democracy itself. And today, as many centuries ago, democracy cannot find fertile ground in any society where notions of the freedom of personal conscience and faith are not permitted. Former Prime Minister John Diefenbach, who was one of the greatest human rights champions in our history, noted these realities when he introduced his original Canadian Bill of Rights. So I want to remind you what he said. Je suis Canadien, libre de m'exprimer sans crainte, libre de vénérer Dieu à ma façon, libre de défendre la cause qui me semble juste, libre de m'élever contre ce qui me semble mal, libre de choisir qui gouvernera mon pays. Je m'engage à poursuivre cette tradition de liberté pour moi-même et pour toute l'humanité. I am a Canadian, a free Canadian, free to speak without fear, free to worship God in my own way, free to stand for what I think is right, free to oppose what I believe wrong, free to choose those who shall govern my country. This heritage of freedom I pledge to uphold for myself and all mankind. Of freedom that Prime Minister Diefenbaker spoke of that has drawn so many millions to our great country. And it has been in defense of this heritage of freedom that so many Canadians have given their lives in so many struggles against tyranny and oppression around the world.